Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. This is our monthly economic support group that is organized by the African Connect Society. I hope we are all staying safe. We are sanitizing our hands. We are washing our hands. We are observing physical distance and social distancing. Please, wherever you are, try to stay safe. We need you alive. COVID-19 is real. So I am Enimwa, and I am part of the African Connect Society group based in Calgary. And one of the things that we are doing to support African immigrants is this economic online support group. So what we do every month is the last Saturday of every month, we bring a successful entrepreneur or a successful established African here to speak with our other African members that either underemployed, are unemployed as a result of COVID or other reasons, to make sure that they are being encouraged, they are being inspired, because we know how it feels like to come into a country with all the skills and experience, and it's very hard for you to land a job. The research is there. Africans, one of the immigrant groups that are found in low-paying jobs, that are underemployed, that are in precarious jobs. The research backs it. And so what we want to do is to support people, is to give people hope. We don't want you to lose hope. We don't want you to think that you want to go back home. If you move here, we want you to be able to find your footings. Others have been able to find it. Knowledge is power. So we bring them here for them to share the knowledge with you. Also, we have our in-house certified immigration consultant. For those of us who would aspire or who wants to come to Canada, he is here to support you, and you can ask him all your questions. So how we do it, please mute yourself when you join us. If you have any questions, if you're on Facebook, put it on our Facebook page. If you are here with us on Zoom, put it in the chat and we'll read all your questions. If you see me looking down, it's because I'm trying to read your questions and I'm trying to communicate with other team members. As a result of COVID, all of us are operating from our homes. And so that will be the reason why, but I'll try as much as possible not to look down. So today we have with us an amazing African entrepreneur here in Calgary, Canada, called Mr. Godwin. Before I even introduce Mr. Godwin, one of the ways that Africans are able to escape poverty or are able to become a successful economic be able to establish successfully economically is through entrepreneurship. Research have stated that Africans are racialized in the Canadian labor market. They hit the ceiling, they can't get promotions, they can't move on, and they can't find jobs. So one way they try to find job is through entrepreneurship. Last month, we brought you someone who has successfully landed a job. This month, we wanted to bring you someone that tried another route, tried entrepreneurship, and have succeeded with it, to share his wisdom of nuggets and to let us know that if you come here and you can't find a job, whether you have the capital or not, is there another way around it? Can you start your own if you have an idea? So we have someone here who's going to tell us about that different route. If you have any questions, please let us know. And so to not to speak any more, I would like to introduce Mr. Godwin Osage. Thank you very much, Mr. Godwin, for joining us. The platform is yours now. You can speak to us about your experiences when you moved here and the reason why you decided to go into entrepreneurship, and any tips and strategies you have for us, those who will aspire to go into entrepreneurship as well. Thank you.
Muted, yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Aminua, for the opportunity and for giving me the time, the privilege to speak to everyone on this platform. I can see we're all from across, I would say, United Nations. I was told that everybody is not in Canada, somehow across the Atlantic, and I call such in the United Nations. From what I was told, I'll just give a brief history of myself, a background before I came to Canada. Migrated to Canada 2006 November. Before coming to Canada, spent 6 years in the UK. Prior to that, I was in Nigeria, where I was born, raised. Did my first degree in Nigeria, electrical electronics. After my first degree, I did some work with Guinness. I also worked for another startup company called Rest. And from there, I relocated to the UK for my master's. Did an information engineering City University, London. Spent some years in the UK. Trying to get some job in the UK was difficult. Typical immigrant challenges. The majority of the challenge then was what the company was saying, no European experience. But try to explain that the same engineering we do in the UK, the same engineering we do in Nigeria, but still it was becoming successful. So I decided to look for where I can get a place where I'll be accepted. I did some research. I discovered Canada was accepting this high scheme federal program, and people were easily integrating into the system. So I came over to Canada, landed in Toronto, 2006, November. I did same as when you relocate, you always have the initial problem of how to integrate into the city, the cultural shock. I believe some of you have passed through this already, and some of you are yet to pass through it. You can't run away from it. It's part of life. It's part of the challenge of leaving your country to a different country. Spent 2-3 months in Toronto. It was difficult to integrate for me because I was in engineering. I did some survival job, tried to get into a survival job to survive, which some of us will have to do when you relocate. You end up doing things that you're not, you didn't intend to do, but all to survive. I tried to get into the survival market job in Toronto. It was also difficult. I ended up working in a warehouse, and after 2 months, I bought a one-way ticket to Calgary. I was told that I did some research and discovered that engineers were making it in Calgary, and I decided to take a one-way ticket. And it's one thing I would like to tell everyone is if you're making a change, be ready for the worst. There's nowhere you go that you will not succeed. Success is not attributed to any location. You have to do what it takes to get it done. If you're determined to be successful, you will definitely be successful. Wherever you are, at whatever time you are there, you just have to look around and see what needs to be done to be successful. And if you go ahead, it's always difficult. We as immigrants will have to do ×3 what the citizen living there will have to do. So I came over to Calgary. I had the same challenge as well, fitting into the system as a new immigrant. But luckily, I was able to get into the survival job, and that kept me going. Regardless of wherever you find yourself, you have to keep going. The ability to survive is the key. If you're able to keep your food on the table and roof over your head, every other thing is a success. Now, spent some months. I did some research, which is very important for immigrants. When you're in any location, you have to actually find out what you need to do. Get information. Information is very powerful. So what I did when I landed Calgary, for those who are coming to Calgary, was I checked around where is the deposit where I can get information that will help me as a new immigrant. I found a program called CES. I found so many programs sponsored by the government, which I didn't actually get in the UK. That makes Canada better than the European UK. I found a lot of new immigrant programs. So I went visiting all of them, gather information, and I was able to get lots of information, sat down, just tried to narrow it down to the path I would like to take. The one that caught my attention was the CES program. I don't think they do that program anymore now. The program was offering a bridge kind of experience for those new immigrants, professionals who came from across from other country. They send you to job for four months. They train you 3 months in class and four months practicum with the company, assign you to a company free of charge. At the end of that practicum, you will now have at least 3-4 months experience to put in a resume. I did that while at the same time doing a survival job. It was tough, like I said before. you have to do what it takes. I was working security in the night, start from 6 to 6, and I was doing the day job, normal regular 9 to 5 job. So you have to do what it takes to survive. So I did that did it 3 months in the class, then 4 months in the free job. And funny enough, when I registered for the program, some of my friends were telling me, "Oh, you're going to work for free, and that's not what you came to do in Canada." But I told them that's the only way I can get experience. I started the program, did the 7 months with them. At the end of the 7 months, luckily to God be glory, I was hired by the company where they sent me to do a free job. And now the people that was outside are telling me that you're going to do a free job. They were still looking for jobs when I finished my training, I got hired. So it's very important that you actually don't just follow the crowd. Try to look around and see what are others not doing that you could be doing to put you ahead of others. That really put me into the employment market. I got hired by an oil and gas company, and trust me, it was an entry level. And another thing I would say at this point is, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, make sure you do it as best as you can. Give it your best. The experience I was doing, were about 10 of us who was assigned to that company. At the end of the day, not everybody was taken. When you think people are not looking at you, they're actually looking at you. So if you do whatever you're asked to do, whatever you find yourself doing, do it to the best of your ability. Do that, see if God is looking at you. Whether the boss is there or your supervisor is there or not, do it as best as you can. So at the end to cut the story short, at the end of the practicum, we were selected. Some of us were not taken. I was asked to stay back. My boss then there was no real position to put me. He had to carve out a position just to keep me back. Said that they like the way I work. So they gave me an entry level job, and which I did. From there, I started working myself up. Now, one thing in Canada, it's getting a job. Another thing is to keep your job. We as immigrants, we come from a different background. We come with our own culture into the workplace. And I've seen a lot of people lose their job because of our culture. Now, that program I went to, the immigrant program that government was sponsoring, really gave me an insight on how to keep your job, how to find a job. They gave you so many things on how to write resumes, but the most important things I took from that program was how to keep your job. There's this workplace culture, which they taught us in that program. For the first 3 months was all about the workplace culture. They teach you what you need to do, how you need to when you're in any workplace, what you need to do, how to keep your job. There are so many things that people do and don't do that they don't know contribute to their losing their job. People get a job 1 year, 2 years, they let them go. If they're looking for people to lay off, you'll be the first to be nominated. It's not actually because of you're not good at what you do. I came to realize while working and through that program that your hard skills, it's not important to the corporation. It is your soft skill. Your hard skill, they can train anyone to do the same job as you. They can spend thousands of dollars training somebody to do your hard skill. But your soft skill, they cannot train anybody. And that's what employers are looking for. It is a key to keep your job. I'll give you an example. If you're in a workplace, your colleagues go to the lunchroom to eat. You stay back in your office to eat your lunch. Where that's cultural, most of us do it. I was doing it as well. I had to quickly adjust to what people are doing and do what they're doing as well. If you are eating in your cubicle or in your office while others are eating in the lunchroom and you're not there with them, they won't see you as part of the team. You have to be in the circle. in every workplace it's different. There's a workplace culture that is different in every workplace. So you have to look. In that program, I was told you use your eyes, your ears, and check what they are doing. You have to belong. Another important thing we're taught then was small talk. That it's a small thing, but it's so huge that it can affect your relationship with your boss, with your colleagues, and all. I was told then that when you get to an office, even if it's 2 minutes, two minutes, have a small talk with somebody. You think it's just a very small thing to do, but it has a huge impact. It puts you in the circle. When you do what they do, you become one of them. But if you cannot flow with them, it's very easy. You lose your job easily. Then when you walk in, you finish your job, you have to don't just isolate yourself. Stretch forth your happy hand to others. We want to know. Ask them, do I have any way I can help? I'm done on mine already. How can I help? There is a rule of thumb that someone told me. It said, it was actually one of my boss. It said, if you're on holiday for 2 weeks and nobody misses you in the office, then that's a red flag. If you're on holidays and nobody in the office misses you, then you know that you're not well positioned. You should be position yourself in a way that when you leave away for holidays, they should be calling you to find out, oh, how do we do this, how do we do that? I'll give you an example. There was a company I'm working for in Hatch. The name was Hatch. When I left, by the time I was leaving, the company brought 2 other people, about 2 or 3 people for me to train to cover for the task I was doing. That means I was doing more than what I was hired to do. If you make yourself very useful in your company, it's very difficult for you to lose your job. Very, very difficult. If at the time you get into a new position, it's easy to get a job. It's difficult, I know, but when that's the easy part. Keeping the job is the most difficult part. Now, 2008, the economy went down, so I got laid off. Everybody was affected. And I'll pause there. While you are working, a very key important thing you need to know in any establishment for those who want to go into the corporate life is networking. Networking is very important inside the office and outside the office. With your direct line of managers or indirect, it's very important. It helps you to get a job. It also helps you to keep your job. When the economy went down in 2008, I was laid off. Now, it was the networking skills I had that kept me going. I got hired by another company because somebody from a different company get to know that I was laid off, and he called me to come over. If that connection wasn't there, I would have still been, or maybe for a longer time, I would have gotten a job. So whatever you're doing, networking is key when you are in a new country, especially for those of us who migrate. Within the company and outside the company is a key. Now, you have to also learn ways to upgrade yourself. I had to do some certification. I have to find out. Back home, I wasn't software oriented, but when I came over, I have to quickly learn some skills. You have to make yourself marketable, make yourself useful in your company. That way, they cannot easily. It's to be difficult for them to just let you go. If you're just doing only the job, you're a specialist in just one task, you can easily be replaced. We as immigrants will have to do more than the non-immigrants. That's the simple fact. It's just the rule of life. We have to show that we have to do 2-3 times more than what they are doing to be in the same level. It is what I've come to realize. Now, that's in the aspect of getting a job. Now, keeping your job. When you come to a new country, for those of you already here, there are different resources you can get. How to get a job, networking, site, website. There are even organizations sponsored by the government who can help you get that. That's just one aspect. Then keeping it is another aspect. Now, for those who don't want to be in the corporate world or due to the insecurity in the job level, it's getting into the entrepreneurship. It's another important thing that anybody can look into. Now, why becoming a business owner or becoming an entrepreneur, it's not something you wake up one day and just jump into it. No, you have to start. It takes time. Every business takes about 3, 4, 5 years to be able to balance. I'll tell you guys a little bit about me in terms of the business side, but I'll explain first how I decided to go into the business or why. Now, when you are in a new country or a new environment, and when you know that if you look at how things are run, like using your eyes, and you find out that it will take you longer time to actually achieve what those people who were born, raised there, you have to start looking at other alternatives, other ways you can improve yourself. Now, the first light bulb that came on me was the 2008 meltdown. That was the first economic meltdown I experienced in Canada. I was working in the oil and gas then. I was in Fort McMurray, making good money, just rented a new apartment. I was married then, and my wife we were expecting a baby. The next thing we got was about 4,000 people were laid off the same day. So we were asked to go back. I just got onto site, and my boss called me and said, "Godwin, we have to go back." And because of the good relationship, he kept me for some time. That's the importance of networking and being good in what you do. He kept me for some time, and after a while, I said, "Godwin, there's nothing they can do. We'll have to go." So I spent extra one shift. I came back. The moment I got home, I sat down and looked at myself. I said, "Okay, what had just happened? I struggled to get a job, struggled to keep the job for some time, and after a while, I got laid off, just like that." So I started and I was thinking, okay, how can I prevent this from happening? What came to my mind was set up your own business. When I look, no money, nothing, no experience, I said, okay, I started doing some research. Information is key. And we also need to know this fact that it's not where we start from, that's where we're going to end. I actually started my business career in air travels. I didn't really do well in the air travels. There was so much work to be done, so much competition, and the system was so difficult to get into. So I started with the air travels. Where after I got hired again, so I was still doing the air travels, but I was not doing side by side. I started looking at how much I was making from the air travel. It wasn't really good to cut it. It was a commission base. So the next thing I did was, okay, let me go into the cleaning. So at this time, I got hired again in the oil and gas house. I was also doing the cleaning business. So in the night after work, I go out there and do some cleaning work. I was the day my boss saw me cleaning outside. It is what it is. As immigrants, we have to do what we have to do to survive. I did the cleaning. Luckily enough, I got so many contracts in the cleaning. I was actually making more money from the cleaning than I was making from my regular day job. But that was where each time I look back, I would give thanks to God. I said, but that was where I made my first mistake. If I have actually settled down and said, okay, if I'm doing well in the cleaning business, I could have just quit my job and focus on the business and grow it perfectly well. But I was scared. Well, I didn't know better. I think more of being not wanting the security. Most of us immigrants who want to have that security where, at the end of 2 weeks, you get paid. At the end of a month, you get paid. We don't want to take chances, which you can't get from a business when you're starting newly. You don't know where your next pay is going to come from. So I was scared of taking that big leap. So after a while, I started losing my contract because the workers I was hiring, I had to hire people because I wasn't around. The workers I was hiring to do the job, because I wasn't around in town, they were not doing it properly. So I was losing some income there. I started losing some contract. Now, fast forward. It got to a stage where I was the cleaning business went down because I wasn't there, and the job also wasn't all that going because I kept flying in and out. So one day what I did was told my boss that I need to be brought back to base Calgary where I want to be. They brought me back, came back to Calgary, but the job market wasn't still secured. There was always issue of getting fired on getting rehired again in oil and gas. In my province where I live now, it's mainly oil and gas. So they hire you, they fire you. So that kept ringing in my head. This is not what I want. I need something better. And I looked at it. The cleaning business is a lot of energy. It's a lot of labor. And I thought myself, this is not what I want to do at retirement. So for you that is just coming into a new country and hearing this and having the opportunity to know what I know now. Honestly, if I know then what I know now, I would have done it differently. I would have started early. I won't wait for so many years, but everybody's not caught for business. Now, at the time I sat down and looked, I said, okay, this is not what I want to do in retirement. I can't be doing a heavy job at 70, 80 years. So I need to change the kind of business I'm doing. So I started looking at other opportunities that I can actually go, that I can take towards, that I can actually do in my retirement. Real estate caught my attention. Real estate, buying and selling of homes. So I started investing in it. For those who want to go into entrepreneurship, you have to be ready to do the time investment and be patient to go through, to set it up properly and go through all the trying times. It takes averagely 3 to 5 years before a business can stand and actually be feeding you. So what I did was tell myself, I sat down with my family and said, okay, we have to come up with something. We have to come up with something that will be doable at our old age. Thank God for his wisdom and for his knowledge and his favor. I latched onto real estate. I looked at it, it's something I can do even at 70 years. God giving us life. Even at 80 years, 90 years, you can still walk around and go show houses and sell houses. So I started developing myself. The first thing was how do I get in? I tried to get information from here and there, but it was difficult. I met some people, they didn't want to let me in. And that's another thing that everyone needs to know. If you focus in your mind, you want to do something, don't let anything stop you. Be determined, go through. If you try one route and it's not working, take the next route. If you try somebody first and it doesn't help you, take the next one. I met a lot of people then who are actually asked, begged to show me how to get into it. They were experienced, they were very good, successful at it, but no success. So it took me years. I finally got to find myself into it. I finally got information, went into it, made some mistakes, spent money I shouldn't have spent because there was no guidance. But the short of the story is, no matter what it takes you, go. Once you have a dream, go for it. So I started doing the real estate side by side, working. In the corporate, I was still working in the corporate world. Started having clients, started having repeat clients. So it got to a stage where the real estate and working in the office was not conflicting. And I noticed, okay, I still make more money in oil and gas compared to the real estate. But I had to make a decision. And I remember the first time I got to that level where the cleaning business was doing better than, I was making more money in the cleaning business than I was making from working, but I still did not take the decision. So this time I told myself, no, I'm not going to do that this time. While I was struggling within my mind, that's how luckily for me, another layoff came. So they were not laying people off. Before it got to my turn, I told myself, I said, okay, I think it's about time for me to just stop and just face business. I remember the day was December 3rd, 2015. That was the day I actually become I made up the decision, full-time business. Now, on that day, before I left, funny enough, as I was going to work that day, I knew that would be my last day work. I knew that was going to be the last day for some reason. When I got to work, that was exactly what happened. My boss called me to the office, said, Godwin, we'll be holding you for so long, and I think it's about time. I just stood up and said, boss, don't worry. I knew it was coming. It's time for me to go. Luckily for me, I was already bidding on the real estate already. So I went from the office that day, drove. I told my boss, okay, let me greet everybody before I leave the office. And because I knew that would be my last day, I went to my business card and everything. So I distributed it around. Today, some of them are my client now. So now, from the office, I drove straight to church. I said, God, thank you. This is what I'm going to do. Full-time business, no more going back to work again. Now, that will be another point I will say to everyone. When you make your decision, make sure you stand by it. There will be trials, there will be testing. Now, the moment I made that confession, I'm not going back to employment anymore. I went home. I started planning. I told my wife this was happened. Started planning. Guess what happened? Within 2-3 weeks, I got 2-3 job offers, better than the one I was. I had to tell myself, do I want to break my promise now and go back? Or do I want to chase after this opportunity? I said, no, I'm not going back. I stood my ground. The following month, the company that laid me off was asking me to now go fill up another position in the site. I told myself, I'm not going back. So I stopped. I could focus on the business. Trust me, it wasn't easy. It was tough because I wasn't making as much I was making from working. But when you do decide to make a decision, make it, go for it. I always tell myself there are 2 things that can happen. Either you succeed or you don't succeed. And if you succeed, 2 things can happen. Either you succeed very well or you don't succeed very well. And if you don't succeed, 2 things will happen. Either you fail woefully or you fail slightly. So either way, 2 things will happen. So I decided to take the bull by the horn, full-time business. That was how my story started in terms of business. Now, I started with real estate. I tell you what, when God is directing your step, you will be surprised how things fall in place. Now, somebody told me some time ago that success, it's preparation plus opportunity, then you get success. Now, God is not going to do the preparation for us. I don't know if everybody's Christian, Christian in the forum, but I am. God will not do the preparation for you. We have to do the preparation ourselves. But the opportunity is what God brings. Some people say it's luck. Some people say it's favor, whatever you call it. For me, it's God's favor. But you have to do your preparation. And the opportunity or the luck, whatever you call it, luck or network, anything, will add to it. Then you get your success. Now, while I was working on management on real estate by the side, I told myself, okay, I looked at it. I said, okay, property management is another key important thing in real estate. I looked at it as a great opportunity. I can have market within a market if I do property management and real estate alongside. So I started developing myself, started preparing for that. Now, just when I turned down all the job opportunity, I got the opportunity in property management. Somebody was who was tired of doing the business, want to exit because of personal reasons. So that's where I came in. It was impeccable timing. The only thing he told me, which very good man, taught me a lot. The only thing he told me was if I can get myself ready, but when he gets back, I think he was traveling to Mexico. So when he gets back from Mexico, if I can get myself ready, then he will help me to it. I quickly, because I'll be preparing myself before then, quickly go write the exam, and I passed it. When he came back, I gave him a call. I was ready. That's how I jumped into property business now. And I have 2 streams of business: real estate and property management. With the help of that gentleman, which I didn't know from that time, thank God, I believe that was God's favor as well. I was able to go into the property management business, and I was now able to make more from what I was making in real estate. So I was able to balance my daily needs, keep my home, keep my family running, and that gave me a better standing. So for those who want to go into business, you have to always look at how you're going to keep your daily needs going. If you don't meet up with your daily needs, you will not be able to focus on the business. You strangle yourself. So whatever you're doing, you have to plan to have your daily need met. Most of us don't have savings. Most of us are not from wealthy home. So once you have your daily need met, you can focus and plan to do a better thing in the business line. Having said that, and I have two streams of businesses, real estate and the property management. Now I looked at it as, okay, if I have to do property management, I have to be under somebody else. How do I now put both things under myself? But I decided to take it one step further. So, okay, let me become a broker. So I decided to quickly rush, get a brokerage certificate. Now I have both companies under my control. That way you control everything. Nothing, if you're running a business and you don't have control over it, you're giving away some percentage to others. So with that brokerage, I've been a broker and having my own brokerage made me put everything under the same umbrella. Now, started from the beginning to the end. It took a number of years, a lot of work, a lot of challenges, but one thing kept me going. There's nothing impossible for you to do if you put in your mind you're going to do it. Determination is the key. There are other things, help from other people and things you need to do. A lot of things you need to do, but the key thing is you determining yourself what you want to do. Not everybody is cut off for the business world. If you are not cut off for the business world, if you want to focus on the corporate world, focus on it properly. Whatever you're doing, make sure you do it very well. Be the best at what you do. Do it as if you're doing it unto God, not unto man. Whether you're being watched or not, do it as if, give it your best. People are watching. People see what you do. And when they see that you're doing it very well, they will come to you. Now, even in business, people ask me, how do you get clients? Honestly, it's God's favor and hard work. I don't know. The referral, majority of my clients come from referral. I thank God for that. But if you do a good job and somebody sees that you do a good job, they will definitely refer you. But if you do a shitty job, the world flies around. The world is a global village. The world is a global village. If you do a good job, it goes around. If you do a shitty job, it will go around. Now that's my story from Nigeria to Calgary. I'll leave the floor open for questions. If anybody have any questions, and if I remember anything, I'll throw in some more. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Godwin, for sharing with us your life story. This is very, very inspiring. And I like the fact that you mentioned that information is key, networking is very important. I have learned a lot, and I like the fact that you said we need to make a decision at a point. It's just like serving two masters. You can't, one must win. So at a point, we need to make a decision and say, I want to go into entrepreneurship and I want to focus on that and leave. Or else if we think that we can still carry on doing two things, working for somebody and working for ourselves, one will always suffer. And I've really been inspired today by you. So some of the questions that we have for you, I will read out the questions to you is, can you start a business in Canada based on your information without finance? If not, as an immigrant, especially as a newly landed immigrant, how much capital do you need? Or if you don't have capital, how are you able to access capital? So this is like a 3-in-1 question. So yeah, go on.
And whoever asked that question, come up. That is the key to everything. Now, I came to Canada. I had nothing when I came in. I had nothing. I landed Calgary airport with less than I would say I did a warehouse job in Toronto, got paid for the first 2 weeks, got my ticket. I got to Calgary with less than $1,000, and I was homeless, nowhere to sleep. All the guys I was supposed to meet to stay with, to get help, everyone turned their phone off, except one guy who was married, and he said, which I could understand, I couldn't stay with him, but he was always there. I'll never forget him. Now, I was in the street, stuck, no money. I had to pay $30 every night to sleep, and I was sleeping with about 6 people in a room with my passport inside my shirt and my jeans on top, because right in center of downtown, close opposite Salvation Army. So I was homeless. I had nothing. Now, over time, you start integrating into the system. You start making money. But for me, I had nothing when I started business. Because I had nothing, the first business I started was about $450. It was a travel agency. I had to register with that company as an agent, selling tickets under them. It was just for $450. Now, you don't expect to do a $450 business to make $1 million out of it in one day. No, it's not possible. So from one business, I moved to the next business. Now, what I've come to realize is that when you are doing something, when people know that you are doing business, no matter how small it is, more opportunities will come. From that opportunity, I switched from the travel business to the cleaning business. The cleaning business, I had to get into it. I had to take a franchise. Spend about $15,000. Actually, I wasn't having that money. I collected that money. It was borrowed funds. I collected the money from RSPs, withdrew the RSPs I had then from the company has contributed for me, borrow some money. I actually tried to bring some guys together to start it, but when it came to releasing fund, everybody turned their back off. So I looked for money to start. So now, not having money is not an excuse not to start business if you are determined. Remember I said, if you're determined to do something, go all the way. If you follow one route and nothing, sorry guys, I'm doing this video from home, sorry. Now, if you are determined to do something, do it. Don't let anything stop you from doing what you need to do. Now, no money was an excuse. It took me longer to get to where I was going, but I got there at the end of the day. I borrowed funds. Now, when you're in Canada, for those who are already here, access to fund is the number one problem. Number one, I won't say problem, it's a challenge. Everybody faces it, especially for we immigrants now. When I started the cleaning business, I needed money to start the business. I went to the bank, I asked them, hey, I need some money, I have a business plan, I have this and that and that. What do you do? They told me, no. They don't want, the truth is, the bank doesn't even want to look at you till when you are 3 years into your business. You run it, you prove to them that you can run your business successfully. So I had to figure out a way. To look for how to set the business up, borrow funds. Now, even as at that time I was doing cleaning, I wasn't even having access to credit card because I didn't have the credit to even get credit card. I had to pay a bank. I started with $1,000. I give them $1,000 to give me $1,000 credit card for me to have a credit history. That's another challenge we all face when we come to a new country, credit history. Our culture, we're not credit oriented. We just believe credit is bad. But in this part of the world, if you don't have credit to have a credit history, you can actually do nothing. The bank won't look at you. So I had to foster a credit history by giving a bank $1,000. I believe they still do it today. So if you are in that position that you need credit history to get access to funds, you just have to buy it for yourself. That's what I did. Majority of the immigrants are doing it, so it's nothing new. So now, take it fast forward. Started the second business. I was not making more money, though I was in debt. Starting the business, I have to find a way to pay those on top. That is a challenge in business. Now, starting a business doesn't mean you'll be successful in business. There are other things you need to do as a successful owner to be able to make sure your business succeeds. So those things it's not It's not a one video show. It's something. It takes time. But the summary is, you have to make sure your business succeeds. You have to do whatever it takes. Now, for me, I have to go on borrowed funds, run the business, pay off the borrowed funds. Up to today, I'm still, the next business I went to, I had to borrow from. The bigger your business is, or the more capital intensive your business is, and if you don't have the money, you have to find a way to raise the money somehow, and that's where lending comes from. Now, for me, how I overcome the bigger one was, by the time I started having a credit to get access to credit from the bank, line of credit, credit card, trust me, I took as many as I could collect. There was a day I went for an application. The bank officer asked me, Goblin, how come you got yourself so tied up with all these credit? I just simply said, so as an immigrant, when I was looking for money to do business, I came with my business plan, asked the bank the money. They said no. So, and I had to do the business. If I didn't do the business, I won't be talking with you today. And the only way I could get the business was to now put my personal self in debt by collecting credit card and line of credit to be able to direct those funds into my business. Now, it's dangerous, it's very risky. You have to know what you're doing. Now, I became my own bank by doing that. Now, trust me, it's a lot of stress, it's expensive because you have to pay some credit card at 19%. Some line of credit is even better. If you can have access to line of credit, go for it. Credit card, they're what's up? That's about 19%. Now, those are the prices I had to pay. I am where I am today now. Thank God for his favors. We're growing. The business, the property management is growing. The real estate is growing. The brokerage is growing. Now, I'm able to now start paying back those things. So not having access to fund does not mean you can't do what you want to do. It might take you longer to get there, but trust me, if you're focused and dedicated, you will definitely get there.
Okay, thank you very much. This brings a lot of memories because I know I did my master's thesis on the challenges that immigrant entrepreneurs experienced in Canada. So it brings back a lot of memory. And I know that for every immigrant that I spoke to that time, they said they didn't get a loan from the bank. They had to start with their own finances. One person said to me that they were going to buy a business from someone who was retiring. And the person said, if you're going to the bank, forget it. I'm not going to sell to you because I know the bank will not give you the money. But they have saved up and they were able to start with it. So there are lots of questions. So I don't know if you are ready.
Oh, but I'm all yours. I was late already, so I'm ready to give you all the time. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. So another question is asking, as an African immigrant, what would you advise, an ethnic business or non-ethnic business? Because a lot of people are concentrated in the ethnic business because that's what we know. So like the grocery stores, like things that are focused on where we come from, African grocery stores and all that, or we should go out into the mainstream businesses. So how would you advise such a person? Thank you.
Funny enough, the meeting I was before this meeting we're talking about why. No, leave your camera on so I can be seeing you. It's easier to talk when I'm seeing you. Yeah, leave your camera on. Yes, it's easier that way. So I shouldn't be as if I'm the only one talking to myself. You know. Yeah. In the meeting I was before this, we're actually talking about why the black communities, that is immigrant communities, why our business we don't foster growth within our community. Now, it was two hours conversation. So it was a long one. Now, the truth is, whether you like it or not, believe it or not, as an immigrant, African immigrant, I believe everybody on this forum is an African. Your black brother, your African brothers, your immigrants, they are your organic clients. If you cannot survive without them. The truth is, I'll give an example. My where I started, travels. I started with travels. Now, a Canadian will come and buy a ticket from me. He doesn't know me from Adam. If my African brother that I know that have a rapport with, if I cannot cajole them to buy from me, that business will not stand. Your organic client are the most important. And because we're Africans are organic clients. I moved to cleaning. I had to buy a franchise to be able to get a headway in cleaning. And by the time I started getting my own contract, it was challenging to get a contract from the non-African. It was challenging. So now you need your community to be able to survive quickly. It doesn't mean you have to do that business forever. Now, for me, I needed that business to raise funds, to raise capital. We don't have money. I moved from about 2-3 businesses before not settling on real estate and property management, which is what I'm going to settle on for retirement. See how the journey has started. Now, in all these three, even the property management and real estate, I can say now, majority of the clients, organic clients they're blacks, they're immigrants. It's where we flow. You need them. By the time with their connection, with their connection, with their success, you become known. Then people cannot come to you. Even in the workplace, I forgot to mention that. In a workplace, what we do, where people miss it, for those who are going to be in a corporate world, we tend to stay together in a group. In a workplace, it counts against you. Then from that immigrant program I went through, we were taught to leave your African brothers, because we are African, leave your African brothers, go and mingle with the whites, with the Canadians, with those from Arab. Mingle with them. Trust me, it wasn't difficult, because we don't have the same. It's easier to flow with your type, from the same region. Very easy flow. But going across your culture, we have to stay outside that cultural box. Very difficult. For those who want to be in the workforce, they need to work on themselves on that. Doesn't mean you are, even the Africans that are in the same office with me, I tell them, bros, guys, I'll talk to you after work. But now I'm going to do networking with them. I'm going to talk to them, even though I'm not doing anything. There was something I was doing then. I don't drink coffee. But everybody in the office was drinking coffee. What did I do? I went to Walmart, bought a mug that you can't see through. It's covered, it's colored. So while they are drinking coffee, I put water in it, or I put juice. I go to where they are, I'll be drinking juice and water just to fit in. You have to do what you need to do to survive at work or in business. So in business, you need the organic client to survive. Your community is your first client. They know you, your church, your school, your children's school, everywhere, the people you mingle with. If you can buy into them, you're making revenue from them, at least you have enough revenue to take care of yourself. If you can't take care of your immediate need, you will not succeed in business. You can't pay your rent, you can't pay your mortgage, you can't feed your family. You'll be so stressed and you will not be able to focus on that business as well. So you need your organic. Doesn't mean that's your business should remain within that community. A business that is tied to one community is not, or say black community is not the best. Go for business you can cut across. Right now, I have clients in property management who are white. From different race. I have all of them. But at the beginning, for you to get that initial boost, you need your community. You can't stay away from them. So structure your business in a way that you have to do, like I said, research, information. How do I get enough? How do I get in a business is what they call the break-even point. How do I get to that break-even point where you're making enough to cover your expenses? Whatever it takes to get you there. If you think it's going to be easier with your community, go for it. Get to that level before you start making your own choice. Your voice, I can't hear you.
So
no, it's still not on.
Okay. Oh, now I'm on. So thank you very much. Sorry. So you keep saying information is key. So I know people that want to go into something, but then they are trying to get the information and the information is not forthcoming. How do we get that information? Is it that we go on LinkedIn and look for people that are in the business and do cold calling and see if they will come to us? How were you able to assess the information that you had to be able to expand, assessing that information?
What type of information are you talking about now?
So information to start a business. So maybe if I want to start a business in real estate, so do I just go to Google and Google it up? Would I get all the information, or I need to access or go to somebody who is already in the field? And how easy or difficult is it to reach out to people that are in the field who have no idea who you are to give you the information you need to survive? Because for some businesses, probably just as you mentioned, you needed a certificate. Who is going to tell you that go for this certificate before you start it? Or who is going to tell, these are some of the questions that you might likely see on your exams when you go and write, because sometimes you just need someone to guide you. So how do you get that guidance, that mentorship, that information to be able to establish? And so you can use your experience from starting your own business to answer this question.
Come to me. All right, thank you. That's a good question. Now, for me, I got help. Some help came easy, some help did not. In some cases, I did not get help. Some of them I have to do it twice. I have to make mistakes. Now, if you're meant on doing anything, don't be scared. Make mistake, you learn from it. But it's cheaper to learn from people's mistake. That's where you get mentors. If you have mentors, somebody that can mentor you, it's very easy. It becomes cheaper for you. It's not expensive. Learning from your own mistake is very expensive. I have paid heavily for mistakes I made, but I wish I got somebody to help me out. In the property management, I got a good help. His name is Kevin Chapman. He's very good. He taught me a lot of things, and he actually guided me. So these days, anybody that's coming to me now, I do the same thing that he did for me. I help out. I tell people, share information. But sometimes, like you said, those information is very difficult to get. And some people don't want to give it out. I've met people, like the very first guy I talked to about real estate earlier when I was actually wanting to get in. He refused to actually show me how to get there. But he was willing to give me everything, money, anything, but to lead me in, he did not. So I left. That was a mistake I made. When he didn't put me in, I just relaxed. If I have dug deeper, if I have tried a different way, I would have gotten in sooner than I did. Maybe I would have been better now, I don't know. But in everything, we give thanks to God. Now, it took me years before I finally found myself back into it because I wasn't forceful enough in the beginning. Maybe I would not have gone into cleaning. I would not have gone into, there was other business I did, agency. I had to do agency business where I get for labor, providing labor. I wouldn't have gone into those ones if I have started in property, the real estate business early. So it took me longer to get there. But if information are in the internet, go Google, you find all of them there. But having somebody to guide you, it's the most vital thing in business. You have to learn from their mistake. There are things if you go on internet, you will not see those mistakes. You're not going to learn those mistakes. You won't see them there. Nobody write it. But if you are talking with somebody, the person will tell you, look, avoid this, don't do this, don't do that. I've gone through this before. So for me, I'm happy. These days, like I said, I give information freely. Come to me if you get to Canada, you want to know real estate, property management, that's my domain. That's my forte. Come, I will show you free of charge. I won't charge you. But information is there on the internet. Even if you don't get it, if it's in your mind, if you have a calling, if you have a passion, go into it. I'll give an example now, a practical example. I joined a program into real estate. It was from America. They call them fortune builders. I joined them I paid about $40,000 to join that group because I didn't know how to get into it. Look for money here and there, borrow money, join them. But to my surprise, what I got from that program was exactly something I could have gotten if I was working with somebody. So I paid a high price. These days, if I see anybody going to join, I tell them, no, don't waste your money. Come, let's work side by side. Those are things that you can easily pick along the road. So if you find a mentor, it helps you, it makes it cheaper for you to get to where you are going. It makes it cheaper. You avoid a lot of mistakes that others have made. But anyhow you get information, just get it. Thank you. More questions?
Yeah, so 2 more questions. So building up on what you just said, how do you find this mentor? So how do you find them? Go on LinkedIn and find them. And how easy is it to connect? I know that with you, if anyone is coming and a person is from Africa, they can just come to you in real estate. So how do you find those people? How do you find them and how do you go to them? And the last question is about taxes. And so if you can answer both questions, what are the taxes like? Is it too expensive? Is this something that would deter you, or is it easy? And okay, so probably also you can put in registering a business, how difficult or how easy it is to register a business here. And then we can get your final words or your encouragement for people that want to be entrepreneurs. And we can round up with you. Thank you.
All right. And this first question, how do you get them? Well, you don't have to be African to come to me. Anybody can come to me, but you don't have to be African. Anyone from any part of the world can come to me. Now, it's normal. Like life is like it. If you need something, you go for it. And if you know you need somebody, you need someone to mentor you in, let's say, for example, property manager. And you come to me, and I'm busy. People in my field, real estate, property management, they're extremely busy. I don't know what field other people are going to go into. Everybody's busy. So if you go to somebody once and he tells you he's busy and you don't plan to reschedule to meet with him, you are the one looking for his help. You have to find a way to get him. And if one person doesn't work, try somebody else. Those days when I was in the corporate world, when I was looking for a job, I have a spreadsheet where I put every contact I have. I put their name there, the company they work for, when I contacted them, the last time I contacted them, put another program when next I need to contact them. I was following up on them. Even my place of work, my manager that hired me, they gave me the first job. I'm still in contact with him today. I take my family, we go visit him. Importance of networking, it's very important. You will find somebody, except now our challenge is because we are from Africa or from across board, we don't find it easy to meet. I had that problem. I still have it today. To go to somebody, let's say Canadian now, white Canadians, okay, let me go do social networking with a person. It's more difficult. But when I see a black person like myself from the same country, especially from the same country, it flows. That's where we need to get out of that box. We have to go across board, both Canadians, Americans, European, everybody. You need to learn how to break that barrier. It's a barrier that we need to break. We need to network. Now, you will find somebody, and you can find them. People connect on LinkedIn. People connect on Facebook. There are different ways to connect to people. But how you approach, my boss told me then, he said, Godwin, if you want to ask another manager for a job, don't ask him for a job directly. Ask him, do you know anybody that is hiring? He said, if you ask him, do you have a job for me? He will tell you no. Even before you finish saying it, he will say no. Ask him, do you know anybody that is hiring that you want to send a resume? So you're not asking him, but you're asking for somebody. In the process, he might say, oh, I'm hiring. But if you ask him directly, he won't give you. He will tell you no. You have to come up with, there are resources in internet or from group programs that they teach you how to network. I had to do some, there was another important thing that that program did for me. When I came from UK, I started that program, CS program. The coordinator sent me to a school within the program how to talk slowly. When she told me, Godwin, I have to send you to that school, I was angry. I said, I talk. What do you mean? I speak English, you speak English. I said, no, Godwin, I cannot hear you. I said, the way you pronounce your words is not the way we pronounce our words. So there are so many things we need to do on ourselves to be able to for people to like us. If somebody doesn't like you, he cannot relate with you. If I'm going to be your mentor and I can't connect with you, it's not going to work. Even asking, and I know I cannot connect with you, I'm not going. It will just tell you no. So we have to do a work on ourselves. It's not just what we get. It's what we do as a prepare yourself. That's the preparation I'm talking about. Success is preparation plus opportunity. Prepare yourself. When you get the opportunity, you jump on it. Now, The question of the taxes, even in the Bible, Jesus said, give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar. Now, we all came from, I came from Nigeria, Africa. I believe everybody there is coming across from Africa now. If you are coming from Africa to a country where things are running, and the thing that make them run is the tax, please pay your tax. I remember telling the coordinator of that program I went to, I've forgotten her name. I told her, look, if you guys want us to pay money to keep this program running, let us know. We will start organizing all the immigrants to be paying, because that program did a lot for me to put me in the system than they even know. Because I had that problem in the UK. I couldn't get a job, a professional job. I did my master's in the UK. I couldn't get a job in the UK because of that experience. But here, they were providing that experience. I was telling them, look, if you guys want us to pay, we'll pay. So the taxes is what the government uses to put all this in place. Don't set up your business as if you want to cut corners. In Canada, if you cut corners, it just a couple of years, they will catch up to you. I know of somebody last 2 years, Canada Revenue Government fined him about 200-something thousand from bad taxes. You cannot hide from them. Set up your business in a way that you give to them what belongs to them. Like what Jesus said, give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar, and give to God what belongs to God. And you have to be honest in your job. You don't want to be tagged in this part of the world. Once you are tagged, once you are flagged already, you're flagged. This is a system, this is a country where the system works. So we need to put ourselves in the system, not engage the system. So taxes, I'm going to tell you, pay your taxes. Any other question? Give me more, I'm around, I'm available, give me more.
So with registration, how difficult or easy it is? And then maybe any last words you have for us before we round up.
Registration is very easy. Now, there's the different type of, that's, like I said, information. Now, you have to find out what type of business you want to run. Mm-hmm. What the best way to protect yourself. By the time you're in the system, there are different things you start considering, asset protection and all. Now, the beginning is just what type of business I need to register. Mm-hmm. And for me, when I started the first business, I looked at it. It's a $450 business setup. And it's just me that's going to be in it. I'm not hiring anybody. So why do I have to spend money to incorporate? Now, I started with sole proprietorship. And for those who will be working, this system is very good. This system is designed for small businesses. Now, when I was working and I was doing business side by side, I ran a business as sole proprietorship. So what that means is my business and me were the same. So whenever I'm doing my taxes every year, I add the business plus revenue and losses into me. So the taxes I was paying to government in working, because then I was paying some year you pay almost 30-something thousand, 40,000 when you are paying your taxes. Now, because you are using after tax money to do business, the system is so set up to encourage people to go into business. They will cover part of that loss for me. That actually, honestly, Canadian government, that system it's excellent. It helps anybody who wants to start a business very well. It helps you check out some of the costs, some of the losses, while you are starting the business. They know that, the federal government know that if you start business, you're not going to make money first, second, third year. Up to the fourth year, I wasn't making money, but they were covering it. But when I started making money, trust me, I had to pay the tax. Now, for sole proprietorship, they give you dollar back, cash back if you tie it to your personal income. But now, for incorporation, if you do research, you find out incorporation is, let's say when your business is bigger, for protection. I always advise anybody that comes to me now is, if you want to do any business and you are hiring somebody, make sure you incorporate, because that has saved me a lot. Some years ago, when I was doing the agency business, I almost got sued. If not that I was incorporated and I had all the licenses, all the insurances in place, I would have been in a very tight spot. So when you're coming to start a business up in a foreign country, don't go the short way. Don't cut corners. If I had cut corners then, I would have been in a legal case that maybe they would have sued me for millions of dollars. But because I had all the insurance for the government and everything, I just quietly pushed that problem. When they sued me, when they told me that, okay, we're going to court, I said, okay, good, go and meet them. It put me in a clear. Even the guy was surprised. He thought he was actually doing it to actually haunt me. But I pushed him to the government, and the government took over because the insurance is there. So whenever you're setting up a business, don't look at the cost of protecting yourself. The right insurances, whatever bond you need, whatever certificate you need to get all of them. The businesses get them. The insurances get them. It matters a lot. And please pay your tax. It's important. That's how the system is developed. That's what we don't have back home. And if in a system here, the system is set up in a way, if you can do the work, you will enjoy it. Right now, I've been in it for a couple of years. Thank God my business is growing now. We're still growing, but I begin to see a light at the end of the tunnel because of the way the system is set up. The system has been able to survive me. I started with no money, but right now I'm getting to a place where I can say thank God for everything.
Thank you very much. Final words, and also put out your details, the name of your company, your telephone number, so that people that need help with the real estate can connect you. Because people are coming, especially new immigrants, and they want to buy a house, or they want to buy their first home, and they have no idea. So you put your information there, and anyone that is watching us who is a newly landed immigrant can connect with you so that you show them the process and they can get their first home through you. And so final words, and then tell us about your business.
All right. Before I give you the final words, I'll tell you about me first. I'll tell you right now. Nobody can give you a better house than I will give. I'll get you. So if you need to buy the right house for the right use, come to me. And if you want to be in the real estate world, property management world, I'm not a phone call away, and I'm there for you.
So your telephone number.
Okay. Where do I do that?
So just say it. Later we'll get all your information and we'll put it on our Facebook page. But now just tell us your telephone number or your email address. Spell it out with your mouth, and then people can jot it down.
Okay. Let's see. My telephone number is 587-777-0097. I repeat, 587-777-0097. Then my email address is G for Godwin, my first name, Godwin, but my last name is Osaga, Osaghae. So my email address is GOSAGHAE@dgmproperty.com. My business name is the G's Management Inc. That is the management section. Then the real estate is the G's Homes and Realty. Then the brokerage, the umbrella for all of them is the G's Realty Inc. It's all the G's, that's the G's group. That's what it is. Email again is G for golf, O for Oscar, S for sugar, A for alpha, G for golf, H for hotel, A for alpha, E for echo, @D for David, G for golf, M for Mary, P for Peter, R for Romeo, O for Oscar, P for Peter, E for echo, R for Romeo, T for Tango, Y for Yankee.com. See, that shows ID security. So those of you who are coming, be ready to do any survival job to survive. Maybe security might be one of them.
Thank you very much. We'll get all your information and we'll put it on our Facebook page so that if someone is a newly landed immigrant, they can connect with you, or even if they're already in the system and they want to get a house or maybe have someone rent their house, they can connect with you.
They can connect me. Now, final words for you guys. Don't let anyone tell you you cannot become what you want to become. That it's impossible now. There's nothing impossible. When I landed Calgary, I was homeless. Thank God for his favor. We've got 2 houses now in Calgary. We have a business. We have two kids. So it's nothing is impossible. Mm-hmm. All you just have to put in your mind, this is what I want to do. You can do it. Just go through with your plan. Doesn't mean you will not, you don't want to live your life thinking, oh, I don't want to take a risk. I don't want to take a risk. At the end of the day, you're not you didn't live to your potential where you want to be. Take the risk. At the most, you fall. If you fall, you get up. Like somebody always say, take the risk. If you miss it, God will find you, will look for you. It's like GPS. GPS. Program your address, your destination. If you go the wrong way, the GPS will tell you recalculating.
Yeah.
The GPS will never say, you dumb head, why are you taking that route? No, it's recalculating. Take it. Take the step. If you miss it, you recalculate. You find your way. You might take a longer direction, longer route, you will come. And if you miss it again, it will recalculate. It's like that. You always find, if you don't give up, you will get to your destination. You lose when you give up. You fail when you give up. Or if you don't give up, success is still ahead of you. You'll get there. I wish all of you the best, and welcome to Canada. She's a great. I'm a proud Canadian. She's a great country.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sagi. So don't leave. We have our in-house certified immigration consultant, Mr. Alex. Please unmute yourself. He would also talk to us about his company, and if you have any questions for him, we can ask him. Thank you very much, Mr. Sagi. We really appreciate your time and the fact that you even agreed to honor this month's economic support group. We appreciate you. We at Afri-can Connect say thank you. We appreciate you. So, Mr. Alex, please unmute yourself and yes, tell us about your business and let us know if there's any questions for you.
Thanks so very much. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Thanks so very much, Mr. Geltrin. Yeah, really, I listened to your journey with rapt attention, and I can say that, yeah, I took away a lot of nuggets. And then when I hear your path, a whole lot of us either have gone through or are going through similar path. I migrated here in 2011, so I'm a younger migrant compared to you who came in here 5-6 years earlier. And there's really nothing like doing something for yourself, something that you enjoy. Hopefully, if you're still taking you're still taking mentees. If you are available for coaching, some of us might be who are in the middle of running our own business and still doing the 9 to 5. We might be calling on you. Thanks so very much. Okay, my name is Alexander Irete. I'm a regulated Canada immigration consultant. I'm the principal consultant for Base Point Immigration Services Incorporated. We help with express entry. We help with students' admission and study permit. We help with spousal sponsorship, refugees, refugee claims, and all of those things that immigration consultants do. Well, what I try to do when for people who mention Afri-can Connect is that if they have immigration questions, instead of our usual $200 an hour for initial consultation, if you're coming from Afri-can Connect, we are able to do we're able to give you some overview and basic consulting, answer your questions on Canada immigration. Just mention Afri-can Connect, and you also let me know which of them. Say, oh, I listened to Godwin talk about being an entrepreneur, and then I'll know you were truly in Afri-can Connect. Once you attend this program, you have immigration questions, whether you're already in Canada or you are outside of Canada planning to come here. Just mention Afri-can Connect and we'll give free consulting to you. If there's any question, I'm here to answer. If there is none, yeah, we You have my info. You have my info. I can also paste it here. We're based here in Calgary, in Alberta. Thank you so very much.
Okay, so we have no questions, but we are going to put all the information about Alex and all the information about Godwin on our Facebook pages. And so if you're in Ghana and you have plans or you want to move to Canada, I am not certified. We at African Connect are not certified to give you any information, but Alex is certified and he can guide you, he can lead you at a fee. So you can connect with him and tell him all the issues. If you're already here and you want to extend your study permit, or you want to extend your stay, or you want to, if you're already here, you are going to have a baby, you want your parents to come and support you, please connect with Alex. Any questions that you have with immigration, if you already have your COPR and now you can't land because of COVID, any questions related to COVID and traveling, Alex will be your best point. So please connect with Alex. And just as he said, mention African Connect and you get $200 waived from your first meeting with him. So we'll put all that information on our Facebook page and you can connect with Alex and Mr. Godwin. Thank you very much for joining us this month. Next month, we are going to bring someone who has established here. He was a safety professional. It got to a point that he wanted to give up and go back home. But then he made a workaround for him, and now he wants to inspire us and motivate us with our story. So join us again on July, the last Saturday of July, so that we bring you somebody else to encourage and inspire you. We will win. We will survive. We will win as Africans. Don't let us give hope. Let's keep inspiring ourselves, motivating ourselves, networking with other people, encouraging ourselves. Let's give the support to each other. If you have the information, don't keep it to yourself. That's not how we win together. That's not how we move on together. If you have the information, share so that we can all win. If all Africans win and get a good sense of acknowledgement in Alberta, we all win. It's good for us. It's not just good for only one person winning. And so join us again next month, the last Saturday of July, and we'll bring you another interesting episode to encourage and motivate you. Thank you very much and have a good one. Please stay safe, sanitize your hands, wash your hands, physical distance, obey all the guidelines, and we will see you next month. Bye-bye.
Thanks so very much. All right. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Mercy. Thanks.